Hello, Anette Dawn here, and I am going to invite Dawn Demon here too. We are going to have a conversation about peace today. So I will just add her. Jaha. So, how are you everyone today? Hey! Hey!
There it is.
There you are! Welcome!
How are you?
I'm
I
very
wasn't.
good, thank you.
Whoops, let me just adjust that there. Okay, perfect. All right, good.
Yes! So, I know we were like maybe a couple, 1-2 minutes earlier. I thought that was good to see how we all get started.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was just sitting down, so I was ready to go. It was
Okay,
good.
super.
Yeah,
So, do you have peace in your world today?
I do. As crazy as the day has been, I always have peace. I think that's the one thing that most people don't realize is that that's your true existence, is peace. And then we have life, and it's all these causes and conditions and beliefs and things that we have, even from like early on, even I would say like when you're in your mom's belly, like probably that third trimester to about 3 years of age. I think that's when we really go through this growth of experiencing how to self-soothe. And unfortunately, that comes a lot of times with shame and with guilt and those kind of conditionings. And it's something that we have to become aware of, right, as we go through this journey. And once we become aware of it, that it's really just a bunch of causes and conditions and beliefs, we start to unveil this true nature of peace. So then life's not such a crazy thing anymore. I mean, it's still crazy. It's just not, we're not in the throes of it, right? We're not riding those waves. We're kind of surfing them.
Yeah, yeah, so true. And I mean, for me, peace is when nature vibrates this frequency of peace for me. So if I have stuff going on, I go out, I take a walk in the forest and just connect with my body. And so it's like having peace in mind, peace in body. And when both are having peace, then I can have peace within. It's like if we have pain going on in the body, it's harder, but it's still possible. And also changing pain and changing anything, being willing to go to this place inside of myself where it's peaceful, no thoughts, and just be present in the moment.
Yeah.
And so how, when stuff happening and you get triggered, what is you go to get peace
Um,
from mind? You know how it's easy, it's like we triggered and then all these thoughts are going on, and it's just we have to deal with life. It's not like there is no mind and no thoughts.
yeah. I think for myself, you know, for many, many years, I've talked about the fact that at a young age, I dealt with panic attacks and anxiety. So I started meditating when I was 14, and that kind of has just fostered this space of awareness for me. So I'd love to be able to, of course, go into a formal meditation and sit and drop into that space within. But sometimes, you can't do that. It's life is happening, right? And you can't just sit down on the floor and start meditating. But I think awareness is everything. Knowing what the sensations are in the body, as they arise, and just recognizing them for the fact that, okay, this is just an energy moving in my body, and not attaching a story to it, right? That's the key, because the mind is constantly on, pumping thoughts like your heart pumps blood, and it's just driving this narrative of, oh, now this is happening. Oh, now look at what they just said to you. Oh, look at this. And bringing that space of awareness to say, okay, I'm feeling stressed or anxious or angry. Angry is a good one, right? Anger arises. I'm feeling this energy in my body, but it's just an energy, and the mind is throwing all these ideas at me as to why this sensation is happening. And it's just, okay, thanks for that, mind. I refer to it as the annoying roommate that lives with you. They always have something to tell you because they know everything. And but I think becoming aware and staying in that space of awareness is all of it. But if I have the time, I'd love to do exactly what you said, is get out in nature. The energy of the earth and everything that exists in this existence, everything that's alive has a frequency to it, and we do too. And we connect to the trees, and we connect to the dirt and all of it. And I think if you can immerse yourself, just get out there and just kind of take a few deep breaths, look up at the sky, look at the clouds. Sometimes really do something that's going to make you stay present. Like you said, being present in the moment takes you out of the thought stream and all the crazy stuff that it's telling you. And you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be outside, Annette, right? You should be inside. You should be on the phone because you have all these things to do. And now look at you looking at clouds. And that's exactly what the mind does. And you just have to know that that's okay. It's okay that thoughts are happening. Mind activity is fine, but I'm still going to stand here outside and look at the clouds. I often tell people to stare at tree bark. Go look at tree bark, and you'll lose yourself in the intricacies of the designs of what's happening there and the patterns. And you can't possibly have the narrative going of why you should be continually stressing, because that's way better than looking at tree bark. You just can't. You lose yourself even if it's for a split moment, split second in that moment where you're looking at the tree bark. It just really drops you into a space where you can then kind of decompress from that heightened energy that's going on. So yeah, nature's our wonder drug, right, Annette?
Yes, and bodies. So it's like, if I'm really not able to get out of the headspace, then I either need to like run, so physic activity, like running, the heart starts to pump and I have to breathe more. Then it's kind of hard to have the mind chatter going on, or to have a 3-hour walk. Then by a 3 hour, I definitely are not stressed
Yeah,
anymore. It's like,
definitely not.
yeah. So it it is a practice, and even though I have all these tools, sometimes it just takes some time to get to the space, and yeah, be persistent. Like, no, are the mind going to win with the
Yeah,
Christmas? No, it's not true. The mind is just designed to like look for, am I safe? Is this good? Is this bad? Everything is classified and so on. So the mind is doing its job.
exactly. It is. And I think that is what a lot of people are surprised about when they talk to someone like yourself or me who's, in a space where we kind of operate from this inner peace and, we meditate and it's like, oh, I can't meditate because my mind's going crazy. And it's, refreshing, I guess, to tell people, right? Hey, there's nothing wrong with you. Your mind is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Now let's learn how to work with it, right? That's the big thing. And I think it's important, what you just touched on is having tools, because sometimes, even for me who's been meditating 30 plus years, that is not always something that I can do. There are going to be challenging times in your life where the mind is going crazy and you can't meditate. That doesn't work for me. So I have backup plans, backup tools, as it's, okay, let's try this. Okay, let's try this. Every moment that arises with some chaos is not always going to be met the same way. And give yourself a little grace, a little compassion that it's okay. If this isn't working, that's good. All right, let me try this. Instead, stay in that space of gratitude where you have all these tools available to you, and you can go through one or the other and find what works for you. And it's just having those tools, like you said. I'm glad you touched on that, because you need to have more than one.
Yes, and also a list, preferable than on your phone, because when I am stressed, and I bet when you are stressed, it's like then it's handy to know. Oh yes, look at the list, because the mind is just pumping information. I need them to. I can't even think straight. So then have, oh yeah, reminder. Yeah. I can do this. Especially also if you're waking up in the middle of the night and can't sleep, and now the mind starts to think about something what to do tomorrow, or some stupid things. I mean,
Right.
yeah. So it's like, what do you do in the middle of the night? You want to go to sleep again.
Yeah. And just diving into your senses, that like you said, the body is such a wonderful tool. It really has everything that we need right here. And just coming into, I tell people, smelling something. Sometimes just can you just take, like here, like I love my essential oils, but you don't have to, whatever it is that you, maybe it's flowers that you love flowers. Who am I talking to?
Yeah,
can,
yeah, yeah.
can you smell the flower and just close your eyes and be present with the smell? Taking something and just come into that sense of smell. When you're in your sensations, again, you're dropping in the body and out of the mind. And sometimes just that split second of smelling something can shift everything. It just creates that little bit of space that you sometimes need to get out of that, like you said, that's wanting to keep you awake at night. Even just a sip of water, taking a sip of water and really feel that on your tongue, feel the coolness of the water, the moisture on the lips, feel the motion of what it's like to swallow. Those little subtle things really just bring you right into your body and out of the mind. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also like to share, there is like some points behind the ears, so you can lay down like and just have the hands. You don't have to press hard, so it releases the stress and thoughts and feelings. So it's amazing. We have these points on our body where we can calm the nervous system, and there is so much information out there, and some of them, as we are going to talk, of course, and practice on the
Yeah.
retreat. But yeah. So it's just a matter of having different tools the mind get used to, if I use the same tool, I have to trick the mind and
Yes.
surprise it with, oh, now we are doing this.
Yes.
And it's
I'm so
that,
glad that you brought that up, because that is so true. You know, and unless you're really fostering that awareness on a daily basis, and creating that where you catch it right away, it can trick you. It can pull you right in. It uses it. You know, the mind is almost like, it's like a computer program. It starts to understand what you're doing, and then it says, okay, we're doing this, this is how we do this. And you know, and again, it's not meant in a spiteful way, because a lot of people think like, oh, it's the mind spiteful. It's like, no, it's just it's a program, you know, and it's just catching on to, this is how we do things now, so we're going to keep doing it that way, just like brushing my teeth, you know. Oh, this is how we brush our teeth, we do this every day at this time, and blah blah blah, you know. So I think, yeah, that I love that you brought that up, because yeah, the mind is funny how it just will start to attach on to and learn the different ways you're doing stuff. So changing the game, right? You got to change the game a lot.
a lot. Yeah, because the first reaction is, I mean, just driving, and I then do the so-called wrong turn, and then my mind starts, no, now we're lost. We don't go this way, and it's like,
Yep, that's it. It's all over. Go back to bed. Start again tomorrow.
yeah, it's like, yeah, it's just interesting. So yeah,
Yeah, and I love, like you said, about points that you can use. Um, One of the things I work with a lot is activating our vagus nerve, because that's so important to regulating our nervous system, right? You know, we talk about the parasympathetic side, the calming side of our nervous system. And I do a whole class on that once every couple months, just to remind people like, hey, you have all this right here. And the vagus nerve ear massage is a great one. You kind of slide your finger into that little notch above your ear canal and just apply a little pressure and kind of move in a circular motion. And you could do that when you're sitting in traffic and you're like, I got to get I'm late for my appointment. I got to get there. This is ridiculous. You know, one hand on the steering wheel, the other one is massaging that point, and just let yourself start to decompress a little.
yeah.
So yeah, again, the tools, let's have that toolkit of all those things to do.
Yeah, it was interesting when I worked in the paper industry, and I was the production manager, and people were always chasing me and calling and asking questions. My space, I used to go in to the bathroom, lock the door, and then I would meditate for 10 minutes because I needed just space for myself, and there was no way I could hide somewhere.
Yeah.
So I had the bathroom. So that's what I say to my clients, but they say, no, I can't do it at work. Yes, you can. You can go
Yeah.
to the bathroom and then sit there and just breathe.
Yeah.
Relax.
And
Yeah,
I
there's
think,
always some, and also on a commuter train, you can put in the headset, and you can listen to some calming music or a guided meditation. It's always possible,
yeah.
and it doesn't need to be long. Even if you just do 5 minutes, it's better than nothing.
Yeah. I'm curious, what's your approach when you have a client who, because I hear this one a lot, that, you know, they, life is crazy and stressful. Like you said, I'm at work and this is coming at me, and then my kids are calling me on the phone and this is happening, and I have fires all over the place. So I don't have time. This is my favorite. I don't have time to sit for 10 minutes. What do you offer to people when they come with that?
So that so then I ask them, do you have 5 minutes?
Yeah.
And then and then uh, and I say, not really. Truth, you say you don't even have 5 minutes? You go to the bathroom, are you eating? Also trying to find out how does their day look, and helping them to find, because when the mind is stressed, you can't think clearly. You shut down. You don't use your whole brain. So it's like, no, it's not possible. But if you start to have this conversation asking questions, the person will then answer the question and I was like, oh yeah, I guess I have time. But how do I remember it?
Right.
Then I was saying, yes, you can put an alarm on your phone, for example, and you can always say when some people are chasing you, just give me 5 minutes. I need to go to the restroom. No one can say that you can't go to the restroom. No, wait a minute. Even if it's, especially when it's an urgent thing,
Yeah.
take those 5 minutes. You can be clear space and be present with that emergency with your kid or a co-worker. You always, truth of the matter, asking that question, and they see you have to give yourself allowance. You can't be on call 24/7.
Yeah.
You have to give yourself allowance. I really need space now to be able to function in here. But you don't say that to, like, the way you say it will, like, oh, I need to go to the restroom. No one can say you don't. No.
Yeah.
Wait. No, it's emergency. I need to go now.
Yeah, I gotta
I
go.
gotta
I,
go.
I love that, and I agree with that because I've used that one myself and told people the same thing. You know, if the emergency was that you really did have to use the restroom, nothing's going to stop you from doing that. So when your body is giving you signals that there is this like trauma response happening, right? You're in this fight or flight state. That's the same signal your body's giving you as it's urgent and I have to go to the bathroom. So why not go in and take those those moments for yourself that's so needed. You wouldn't deny yourself going to the bathroom, so don't deny yourself the 5 minutes to take a few breaths and just ground yourself and do what you need to do to get into that space where you start to regulate.
And yes, don't forget to put your phone on silence too when you go to the bathroom.
Yeah, definitely.
That's that's actually a thing. How our modern phones are ding ding. I usually have it on silent even at home, even if because I don't like the ding ding ding.
Yeah. Right. It's just, that goes back to what I was saying in the beginning about causes and conditions. We're operating from a space of causes and conditions all the time on autopilot, and we don't even realize it until we start to slow down and take a few minutes to practice mindfulness or meditation or grounding outside in nature. And then we start to have that awareness of, oh, wow, I really am reacting to that ding on my phone. It's that old Pavlov's dog. Ring the bell, they start to salivate because they knew they were getting a treat. That whole experiment. It's just a learned behavior. So I agree. That's something. If you can't do it all the time, turn your phone off and put it on silence, but maybe practice with just
Right.
an hour a day where you put it on silence and then see how different you feel. Really become aware of how different you feel in that hour when it's on silence, as opposed to the rest of the day when it's ding, ding, ding going off like crazy. And they'll start to feel the difference in the body. And then you just say, okay, that's just this is an operating system reacting to a sound. I'm aware of that now, and suddenly maybe it'll feel good to put that phone on silence for 2 hours.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah, I, it's like you said, it's a lot of tricks of the mind.
Yeah. So So in essence, we're talking about the inner peace. You don't have to look or hunt for peace outside to find the modality, to find the person who will you will feel peaceful. You are creating peace for you because you have peace within,
Yeah.
and it just stop everything, every distraction, so you can actually hear your own voice, so to speak. Alltså be aware of what's going on in the body and the head and how you react, and allowance, big peace, allowance for yourself,
Yeah.
allowance for me. When I give myself permission and allowance, usually then my body relaxes. Oh yeah, okay.
Absolutely. You have to give it permission. It's when you're in that state of resistance, you're in that struggle. But as soon as you stop resisting and just say, this is okay for me to be in this space, whatever that is I'm feeling right now, I am feeling, sad. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel angry, just meet yourself with that allowance, like you said, that permission and that grace to just be human.
Yeah,
It's okay.
and
It's okay.
and underneath this all feelings is peace.
Exactly. And I think that's a big one for a lot of people is they're afraid to let go into that feeling of whatever it is, that anger, that sadness, that fear, right? Fear. I mean, anxiety is so existent in the world today. And it's you when you let go into that fear, you fall into the peace. It's a paradox in so many ways, but
Yeah.
that's the beauty of it right there. So yeah, it's not really about, just drop the resistance to it. Let it all be there, because I promise you, you're safe. You're safe. You don't have to feel unsafe, especially in your own skin. It's okay to be safe from all the thoughts and the emotions. Yeah, definitely.
Mm. Yeah, what a beautiful conversation.
I know, this is great. I
Yeah.
love having these talks with you, and I hope it's helping people. I really hope that they're connecting.
Yes, yes. I hope so too. And do you have a, please put your questions even you see this afterwards. We love to have your thoughts and questions. Anything you like to share with us?
Yeah, I think that's yeah, whenever you see this, I don't care if it's 6 months from now,
Yeah,
we'll still be around answering questions whenever, because
yeah, yeah.
it's important to keep sharing that, and keep reminding each other that it's okay. Everything is okay. You're doing it.
Yay! Yay!
So,
Okay.
any anything else? What are you going to go do for your piece today?
Actually, I'm handling the taxes thing, getting back from the accountant, so having peace in the midst of that. I took my morning walk this morning, and
Perfect.
I probably be go out barefoot in the afternoon. Now it has warmed up. It was pretty chilly this morning.
Yeah.
And you, what are you going to do?
So I already had my stressor this morning. I had to go to the dermatologist, and I've had two locations of skin cancer that I had to have removed. So that was it, but I'm good. It was taken care of. I'm in the space of gratitude that I was able to, have it found and removed and good to go. So I'm actually going to immerse myself in putting together my class for tonight. I have a yin class to teach. So
Oh, nice.
I put my creative jeans on now, and
Yay.
hat, and then I get into the flow. So I mean, that's of course doing what I love. I love yoga, and doing it for a living is just a blessing. So I like to get into that creative space. That also keeps me present and peaceful.
Very good. Okay, thank
All right,
you.
Annette, have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Make sure you all go to the bathroom.
Exactly. Oh,
Bye.
bye.